Shut up and sit down.
I am Draven Dresden. With me this week is No Galv because he's MIA. That's really all I can say. That rhymed. Anyway, with me this week, No Galv, but we have Zeph, as anyone in chat room dealing with the audio issues, much like we were, already knows. So Zeph, I will just start off with, how are you doing this week?
Well, we had a broken Warcraft for a little bit, and working on blog stuff and podcast stuff, and yeah, just lots of work. A little bit of Diablo, a lot of Hearthstone, and generally having fun with the D&D stuff. I got 2 new sets of dice. Yay! That's a thing. But yeah. Excited for new stuff.
I hear buying dice is like Pringles. You can't have just one.
I know. I ended up picking up 4 D20s, 2 of them being clear, and yeah. I have some little things to do with those dice, so. And then I got a purple glittery set, and the purple ones do sparkle. And then I got a blue set, and yeah. I'm excited.
Well, that's good. I still have my 1 set of Diablo dice that I got from the BlizzCon goodie bag thing from a couple years ago. Or was it last year? I don't remember. Whatever year it was.
Well, Allie, since you requested a picture of my dice, I will do that. That will be posted to the blog sometime this week. I'm going to go on a wild tangent about tabletop games here soon on the blog, so wait for that. But we can talk about that later, Yeah,
I can't imagine why such a topic would ever come up towards the end of the show.
Right?
Anyway, as for me, outside of dealing with tech issues, and tech issues, and tech issues, and tech issues, and then even more tech issues that weren't anything to do with my computer, because, as you mentioned, Blizzard went down for a while. It wasn't just WoW, it was a lot of Battle.net.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so fun. Still helping the family. Today, my brother actually trusted me to babysit the niece, his kid. And he gave me 2 rules. 1, no sitting on the kid. And 2, no duct tape allowed. Because he knows my sense of humor. I've told the joke many times. And he wasn't quite sure if I was joking. So he gave me that. And then he handed me some money and said, if you guys go out, that's great. Here's money for that. And so I took her
I didn't babysit kids, but, I'm going to take dirty pictures of my dice here soon, so thanks, Allie.
Well, But yeah, I took her out. We went to the park. She rode some rides. We played miniature golf. And then out to lunch, and that covered all of the money he gave me. Almost literally. We had 1 penny left out of what he gave me. He gave me a 20, and we spent $19.99 of it overall. So yeah, fun. But yeah, other than that, I've actually been playing less WoW this week because I don't know. I just haven't felt the need. Like, I got in, I tested some stuff, I set up all my specs that I intend to possibly use. But other than that,
Yeah, I'm
putting
about the
some.
same. Did some alt stuff and officer stuff for the guild, but otherwise, no.
Yeah, I did start putting some time into my main alliance demon hunter, and I say that I use the words correctly. I have a main horde tune, which is my demon hunter, and I have the mage tower completed on that one and all that. But my main alliance one, which is in the CTR guild, I've been putting some time into that, and because I haven't decided if I'm going to stay ret or if I'm going to go demon hunter. Either way, I would be on the conqueror token. Not that that matters because everything's personal loot. But yeah, I'm still up in the air where I'm going with that. So fun.
Fun, yay!
Yep. So what do you say we get into the actual news stuff? That way we can let me get back to editing this travesty of a show together at the end of the night.
Yay, meat and potatoes. Let's go.
Alrighty. Well, first up, Blizzard's over at Comic-Con. They're doing some talking about some of the stuff they've got coming up. I mean, really, who's not? I mean, other than us, who's not at Comic-Con at this point? Even game stuff is showing up over there anymore. So that'll be fun. As soon as we get some details about what they did show, because I mean, we know the generals, but we don't have any actual details yet. That should probably get released at the end of the week, or at the end of the weekend. You know, people will start talking. So, StarCraft has some tournaments going on, because when doesn't it? Hi, Alessander. We talk StarCraft. Happy?
Right?
Yeah. Diablo. Guess what's new? Nothing.
Well, season's still going on.
Yeah, but that started a few weeks ago. We said that started. So nothing's new this week for Diablo.
I mean, are we ever going to get anything new for Diablo? Who knows?
It's possible. Thank you, Alessander, who in chat is saying, I turned off StarCraft to watch you guys live. We appreciate it. And I will continue to pick on you about it because I can't. So that brings us to Heroes up first. And honestly, this week, other than, HEC is going and all that, the big news is Raynor and Azmodan got reworked. And I'm saying since our last show, because we didn't have last week. Because of real life issues. But yeah, Raynor got a rework. It's now live. And Azmodan got a rework. It's now live. People are loving the reworks. But in terms of competitive play, neither one has seen anything from what I've been able to keep up on. And if I remember correctly, you don't really play Heroes that much, Zeph?
Yeah, the last time I played was with Wicked. I really should give the game more attention, but I really don't.
It's not a problem.
Playing other things, other interests, and Heroes happens to be at the bottom for me. Literally.
It's not an issue. I realize that type of game isn't for everyone, and even if it was, that version of that type of game is not for everyone. So we'll just go ahead and move on. There's your Heroes news. I could cover more, but honestly, outside of Alex draws a Cho'Gall pick earlier today, there's really not anything exciting going on. So we'll just go ahead and scoot over to Hearthstone, the game I don't play almost ever. And I forget, Zeph, do you play Hearthstone at all?
Yeah, I tend to be the Hearthstone player that plays for free. But I've had a different experience here recently with Hearthstone, it's been positive. I mean, I know that they announced the Doomsday Project X-Pack, which is great, which seems all well and good. I'm a little less excited about the announcement and more excited that my sister now plays, which is wonderful because the first game that she played, she absolutely whooped my butt. And to give you a little bit of a background story, to give you a little bit of insight, my sister, which is also in the chat room, hi Sugar Mama, she has some developmental delays, and she is doing wonderfully with the game. Like, I absolutely enjoy seeing her have so much fun. So she's gotten me back into it, wanting to play, and focusing on that has been a joy. So
Hello. Yeah, they did the announcement of that. We would have covered it last week, but we didn't have a show. It looks interesting. There's a slight controversy in terms of the pack, the pre-buy, the levels of packs. Like, I think there's an $80 version or something like that, and I know some people are just going all like, oh my god, and I'm just kind of like, I don't care anymore. It's great because I don't like, if I was still playing actively, I would be like, I should buy some of these, but I don't.
right,
So
and that's part of Hearthstone. Like, that's another like underbelly kind of layer to that game, and it's always sort of been there. I sort of have a different philosophy about Hearthstone. And I've always said, if you want to buy the stuff, great. I'm not going to knock you for it. I just so happen to play the game for free and will continue to do that. But, every once in a while, I'll get enough WoW Gold to where I can afford a few packs. So you don't necessarily need, and I'm always telling people, like, if you want to buy all those packs, fine. Please, by all means, it's your money. It's your game experience. I say the same thing for WoW. If you want to spend the money or spend the gold, it's your gaming experience. So who am I to tell you how to have that experience?
yep, I'm right there with you. You pay for it or you don't, or you play it or you don't. In my case, so. Yeah, I mean, it looks like it'll be an interesting expansion because there's new stuff that you can, like, combine things from the looks of it, which I always like the idea of, but at this point I am like 5 expansions behind, so I don't have any interest in trying to catch up because at this point I would need to spend like $600 just on catching up, not the tomato paste. Just so I could play the game at a level that I would be comfortable with. And that is not even, I'm going to get legend. No, I'd be like, I'm going to get to level 15. Maybe. And so I just said, heck with it. I'm done with it. I will, on occasion, still load it up for, like, the dungeon grunt, the dungeon crawl from a couple expansions ago, or, the solo stuff. I do occasionally load it up for that. But beyond that, I don't think I've played against another person in I don't even know how long.
Right, and again, even if you're behind a little bit, that's okay. Like I said, my sister is just getting into it, so I mean, for her and with me playing it with her, it's sort of, even though I may have more cards at this point, I sort of know I can gauge where she's at, so it makes it, doesn't make it too bad.
Yeah. I have no one local that I know of, so I don't have that option either. So, as I always say, to each their own. If you want to play Hearthstone and you enjoy it, have at it. If you like watching people stream it, or even the tournaments and stuff, have at it. It's just one of those things that is not for me anymore. So, yay. Unless you have anything else, I figure we'll just go ahead and move on to Overwatch. I will take silence as I got nothing. So, Overwatch. Before we start, slight spoilers on the semifinals. So, if you have not caught up, skip, mute us for 2 minutes, and then it'll be fine after that.
Right?
Okay,
Where's Gal when you need him?
That was the warning. We had the semifinals this week, and as of right now, the finals are set as the Philadelphia Fusion kicked the crap out of New York Excelsior. The underdogs won in both matches because Philadelphia is going up against the London Spitfire, who was actually ranked lower than the LA Valiant. So, London Spitfire versus Philadelphia Fusion in your first ever Overwatch League Grand Finals, which are going to be in New York, I believe, next weekend? Weekend after? It's coming up, either way. But it is in New York. So,
I mean, if you ever want to visit New York, but okay.
I think
it wouldn't be for Overwatch League, though.
Well, I think they just wanted it over there because all of the other games were on the West Coast, and they want to test the markets in other areas. So I think that's why they did that. Plus, the finals are going to be a big deal that they're putting in a bigger stadium than the Blizzard Arena.
Yeah. And, and I think it also gives way to time differences across the country. Canada, US, that too. So, I mean, if you're into the OWL, there you go. Congratulations, East Coasters. You have a game that's in your time zone.
Well, I plan on watching as much of it as I can, but how much that'll be is still as yet unknown because I don't know what I'll be doing that weekend. So, yeah, there's that. So, that's been about 2 minutes. It's safe to turn your audio on. I realize if you're still muted, you can't hear me, but there you go. So, Overwatch in general, we got some numbers for the Mercy skin. I don't remember if we covered this. $12.7 million for the pink breast cancer Mercy skin. That's a lot of skins.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
There's no word if we'll ever be able to buy the skin again. I doubt it, and I'm okay with that. Maybe they'll do it again next year. Who knows? But as of right now, you can't buy that skin anymore. And then on top of that, next weekend, we're recording on the 21st of July, next weekend is free to play on PC only. So if you're playing on Xbox or PlayStation, you still gotta pay for it. PC only. Everyone gets to play Overwatch for free. So that's going to be a weekend that I probably will play Overwatch quite a bit because I like it when new people come into the game because I actually have a chance to kill them.
Okay. I think Joe is talking me into playing Overwatch just because he has the endowment to kill me.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those games. I'm terrible at it, but I still like to play it. I haven't really played anything all that much lately due to a variety of reasons, and I would say half of them at least were real life issues. So, yeah. I'm hoping to go in and shoot some dudes in the head. In the game. Not in real life. Just as a disclaimer. But yeah, we're flying through the topics, but the main reason I have Zeph on, and I did ask her earlier this week, because I knew what a lot of the stuff was, and I wanted someone who could talk WoW, because WoW is the big news, because, this little thing happened. It's called 8.0. And Tuesday involved most people not being able to log in for most of the day. And if you did get logged in, you were promptly disconnected because the servers were resetting over and over because they were trying to fix things that were breaking the servers.
Yeah, I mean, I got in early and was kicked out a few hours later. Like, it was okay for a while at the beginning, and then when it started to get tilted is when I got kicked out of the server.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about the Q&A a little bit, but basically what happened with 8.0 and the servers getting locked up like that was there are accounts that are really old that are no longer active but are in the game, and if someone in a guild joins a community with someone with an old account, and I mean old like they're not even a Battle.net account, they're just a WoW account, like they're that old where they never did the conversion, it was causing communities to crash WoW and their login servers. So they spent a lot of time Tuesday fixing that. There are still some issues, such as Bald Kel'Thas in Tempest Keep, which I find hysterical, by the way. But they're working on it. We've had patches, and sometimes multiple patches, every day since Tuesday, including today. And I figure this is why pre-patches, the way they do it, is amazing. Because it would have been nice to get new stuff, but the fact that we didn't means...
But, I'd rather have issues now with patch than at expansion launch.
Oh, yeah, definitely. That's what I was getting to. But, I mean, even with the pre-patch content that we're getting, like the burning of Totashil, the taking of Undercity, etc., I would have liked to have been able to do that this week. But at the same time, while it is not great in terms of from the player side, gameplay-wise, because there's nothing new to do except for I'm going to learn to play my class again and probably get killed by random bosses because my power scaled further down than theirs did. AKA, don't DPS queue for tanks anymore for random heroics because it hurts. That being said, Blizzard absolutely did the right thing on this. Giving us nothing new except for learn your classes, learn your specs again, etc. and so forth. Because everything was broken. And having a week to fix that before we got anything new means we'll have a better idea if something is broken next week when the content comes. And then in a few weeks after that, Battle for Azeroth, it will be live, which, technically speaking, as we've been told multiple times now, we're playing Battle for Azeroth. It's just the new stuff to get to the new areas has not... They didn't click the little check mark saying, yes, it's okay to have that. So the content of the troll content, Zandalar, the human content of Kulturas, they're there in-game. You just can't get to them.
Yeah, I mean, they're even on the map if you take a look at it.
Yep, I saw that and I was like, I wonder if I could fly there. And the answer is no, you can't. Just in case anyone was curious, no, you cannot fly to either one of those from anywhere because you will die. I did this on my least geared character that could access that general area. That way my repair bill would not be the 900 something gold that my Ret Pally would have had, which now that I've thrown a lot of that gear out of my bags will be less, but still I had, one of my lower levels do it because repair bills is way lower on them.
Which, by the way, at the current moment of us recording the show, we have 22 days, 19 hours before BFA.
Yep.
I know, oddly specific, but
that's perfect. That's fine. I mean, I'm all for that because I get it at, I think it's 3 p.m. on Monday because I'm on the East Coast. So
right,
I'm like,
I would get it at the same time you do.
Yeah, so I'm all like, yeah, I get it before Tuesday. So I have Monday night, all day Tuesday. I will have to AFK on Wednesday. I already know I will. But then I'll have Wednesday evening. And I will 100% be leveled with my first character by then. Starting on heroics and all that fun stuff. And then at some point, I will one or the other, 3 p.m., 4 p.m. Either way, it doesn't matter. At some point, I will start a second character, probably the other faction, because I will want to see something new. And seems like a good idea to see both sides of it. I mean, I will obviously, if there's a rep grind, I will still be doing like dailies on whatever I decide to main. And then the other side, I will do the same a little bit, but not quite as much probably. Because I'm only going to be rating on one character right off the bat. Eventually, maybe a second one, but it'll be less.
Yeah, rating. Rating.
Yep. And like I mentioned earlier, we'll get to the Q&A. That'll be the last thing we cover because it'll take the most time.
Okay.
So I know it. For anyone who knows my show notes, I usually go in order, but in this case, I'm putting that at the end. We got teases of more. They're calling it the Warbringers, which is basically those little animated shorts that we ended up getting in Legion also, with Illidan and Gul'dan and all that. They're going to be doing the same thing with Jaina, Sylvanas, and Queen Ashara.
Which is not surprising. Like, I sort of knew that Sylvanas would be in there. I knew Ashara would be in there, and that's the one that I'm most interested in.
Absolutely. That's the one I have my eyes on. I figured we would get one for Anduin, but then again, he did just get his own novel for the most part.
Yes, he did.
But
poor Manduin gets a whole novel.
Oh, I mean, Vol'jin got a novel, Garrosh got his own. Yeah, I'm not gonna fault the authors for that. I would have liked more detail.
No,
in Sylvanas,
I'm just teasing.
Yeah. So Sylvanas, I knew we'd get. Jaina, I could guarantee she was gonna get it. But the Ashara one, I was like, that's interesting. I kind of figured, given that this for Legion we got Gul'dan, and it makes sense to keep that kind of tradition going for the not the major boss, but the minor major boss kind of thing, getting one.
Right.
But I'm definitely
why we got her. So I mean, I'm sort of excited to see, even though she's a bad guy, to see what she's doing.
I'm hoping it has
in the mind of.
I'm hoping it does like backstory, so we can actually maybe get our first kind of glimpse at N'Zoth in a WoW-related way, and not because of Hearthstone.
Right.
But yeah, so we got those 3 coming. I would imagine the first one will be on Tuesday, and then we'll get one every week after that. Actually, maybe Mondays. I don't know. They haven't said when they're coming out. But I'm hoping we get them semi-soon, because on Tuesday we got 3 weeks left of Legion before BFA goes 100% live. We got at least 3 of these little animated comic things coming, and they're going to be cutting it close. I mean, maybe they'll put them all out in the same week. Who knows? Either way, it's either going to... I would imagine the Ashara one will be the last one, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. But again, we could be wrong.
Would not be the first time. Won't be the last time. Let's see. Next up on the list in random order. So, the Battlechest that people have been using to get second accounts, or third, or fourth, or fifth, or however many accounts they need for those recruit a friend mounts, because that's the only thing I've been able to figure out to use them for, because I don't know anyone that's going to just start WoW, so That's how I do the Recruiter Friend. I buy the battle chest when it goes on sale, and ta-da! I get a free mountain game, and it's cheaper than the store, blah, blah, blah. Well, that I don't think is going to be an option because Blizzard got rid of the battle chest. It is literally now you buy a sub and you get access to everything through Legion for that time frame. You still got to buy the new expansion, whatever it is. In this case, Battle for Azeroth. But whenever that's over and the next one comes out, you'll get Battle for Azeroth with that original purchase. Business-wise, this makes a ton of sense on their side. But the whole recruiter friend thing, no one knows how it's going to work now. So
Yeah, it sort of killed that.
Maybe it might have. They'll end up changing the requirements, but
I mean, I assume it would be based on account, and then you can send like an email to your friend, and once they confirm via that specific email that's attached to a new account, that's how it's going to get linked. That's the way I sort of understand it to work business-wise. But I just find it funny how upset people are by the change.
It's the recruiter friend farm. It's the recruiter friend farmers is what it is. That's who's getting upset. Or the people like, I had to buy the boxes. How come they don't? Shut up.
Well, it's more of like, okay, we spent the money, but it's like, it's not even that. It's like, okay, you spent the money on a game that you say that you enjoyed for so many years, so don't give me that. You know, I sort of like, I understand, like, yeah, you spent the money, sure, but so did I. So did hundreds of other players that are not complaining about it. You know, I willfully did that. So it's not like Blizzard held the proverbial gun to my head and said, you must do this. No, they didn't.
Yeah. I mean, I would put money that they're going to change the recruiter friend or just get rid of it altogether, and then eventually whatever black market auction house will have the recruiter friend mounts, or maybe they'll just be in the store.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I thought they were going to get rid of recruiter friend a while ago, especially when they made the change to leveling specifically.
I mean, from a business standpoint, recruiting other people to play the game is never going to be bad, so I don't know that they'll get rid of it entirely. So I'm leaning towards they're just going to change how it works. Like, they have to buy 2 months of game time, or they have to have 2 months of game time on that account, and then you get your mount, or something like that. I could see them doing that. But to get rid of Recruiter Friend, now that it's there, I don't know. They might, but it seems kind of silly, at least, to my outsider eyes. Maybe they're not getting as many people that they thought. Like, they're getting literally the people that are, I'm doing this to myself for the mount, and
right,
then
like
that account's
the
dead.
People that are doing, like, 5 or 6 box accounts.
Yeah, I mean, with the way everything is set up now, though, like, that's dead. Outside of farming, that multi-boxing is dead because they have auto follow in combat disabled now. So
right,
multi-boxing like that is gone unless people get around
it. Absolutely, and people will find a way to get around things until Blizzard decides to be like, okay, let's fix that. But the only thing that is good for is farming mats out in the world. Stuff like that.
Yeah, that'll still happen. You can set it up so it is perfectly legal, because I know someone who did it. It's via macros, and all they got to do is hit a button, and all their characters are going to do the exact same thing. But because of how it's set up now, it's for farming, like mining and herbing, and that's it. Because leatherworking involves you killing things, so combat. So it's mining and herbing, and that's it. So,
Well, I
fine.
mean, solo raids, multi-boxing, yeah, old raids, I can see that happening. Because if you're a high enough level, it's not going to matter because everything's
But
going to die.
okay, even if you one-shot though, you enter combat, so you will have to go in and auto-follow yourself on all the other ones again. It's combat break. They broke multi-boxing with combat. So if one of them enters combat, all of them enter combat. Auto-follow is then broken. Like, it just turns off. So
Right.
it's a little bit of managing, but it should still, at least the way I'm understanding it, and chat is contradicting what I'm about to say. So it might just be PvP. I'm not 100%. I'll have to look into it more. But the way I read it was combat, period, breaks the auto-follow. Thus, it would only be used for farming, mining, and herbs, and that's it.
Well, think of it this way. If you're 120 and you're in, normal gear in the first raid, that should make you strong enough on any tune to one-shot things in Old War, logistically. So follow really doesn't, you know what I mean? Like that's where it's sort of like, does it matter? Not really.
I see what you're saying, but what I'm saying is because you enter combat, even if it's a one-shot, they will have to go back into those alts and make them follow again. Yes, it's only going to take a second or two, but that's a second or two that would be not needed if you would just go out and farm, say, ore for mining and herbs. Like, you wouldn't have to worry about it. You multi-box a druid, you get flight form, you get flying, you go down, you pick your herb, you pick the mine, and you just keep flying because druids have that bonus.
Right. And the other thing is too, it's like people that have a larger amount of doing this character-wise, you're just putting yourself sort of behind. So if you have more than like 3, it's like, why? To me, like in my brain, like I don't get why people would do that.
Gold farming. That's what it is. It's gold farming. Now, if it is just PvP and it is not just combat in general, then I could see transmoggers getting huge into that, because the way the raids are going to work, stuff was going to drop based on your spec and stuff like that. Now, if it's old enough, then it'll just drop stuff, but you can't transmog everything. So I could see them taking multiples of like 2 or 3 classes and be like, I'm just going to go through it and get everything. And it'll be so much faster for them to just collect everything that way.
Right, and then sell the extras for a large amount of gold for the things that are statistically, really, really low. But I'm the weird one. I don't want to spend my gold if I can go get it, potentially. You know what I mean? Even if it's like a 1%. That's just me.
Yeah, it depends for me. Like, if I know it's a really low drop and I know what the quote-unquote going price for it should be in my mind, and I see it for way less, yeah, I'm not going to waste my time going to get it. I might still go to get it, but then I could sell it for more than what I bought it for, thus turning an extra profit. So I see both sides of it. It's a time versus money thing. If it's too high, then I'm not going to buy it. I don't care how much I want it. There is one exception in-game, and that is old corrupted Ashbringer. If they put that on the black market auction house, I will spend every last bit of my gold to buy it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like that's the one exception. I think that's my only exception.
And that's from someone who has the new version of corrupted Ashbringer and used it for almost the entire expansion. But yeah, that's the only real exception, is if they put that out there.
There's that, and there's one staff. And it's evading me the name of it.
Probably not Benediction, but it's Medivh staff. Atiash.
Yeah.
Which you can't get anymore either. And very few people have that because you had to be like high-end rating back then to do it. And it give you a teleport to Karazhan because that's useful. It was at the time, but still.
Yeah, so, I mean, even Benediction is pretty decent.
Yeah.
But that's not an exception to the rule.
Yeah, that's just, these are things that aren't available anymore. And I was like, yeah, I'd pay money for that. Speaking of things not available, it's not in the show notes, but here's a tip. There's a rare down in Stranglethorn, down in a cave. It's like a little crocodile guy. I forget, I think like Spine Belly, something like that. There's a sword that, as of Cataclysm, stopped dropping. So the price of it went way up. As of 8.0, that sword's dropping again. And I'm talking about the chromatic sword, where if you have your graphics turned way up, it has like rainbow shinies on it. So there's always people there. Pro tip, take a monk with the auto AoE ability, like it just does it every 0.6 seconds or something like that. That's the best way that you're going to have a chance to get it until people just say, heck with it, I don't care anymore. But since it's new, you're going to see a good 20, 30 people on like every realm, because I checked on several, and there was a good 20 to 30 sitting there on monks with the same idea.
Right. And if you are interested and do not know what this sword looks like, I put it in the Epic Fail Discord. It is a beautiful sword. Enjoy your farm.
Yep, I'm going to put it here in chat. Okay, so other things that have changed as of 8.0. Gold cap hasn't changed. However, transfer cap has. You can now transfer with a max level character. That's the requirement. So 120. I know we're at 110 is max now, but at 120, whenever that's possible, you can transfer 1 million gold. You can transfer gold cap. Or 10 million. I forget what it is. But it's a lot. I think it's the 10 million. You can transfer gold cap on a character as of 120, which is a welcome change to anyone who has gold cap and wants to transfer. There's not a ton of them, but there are people out there.
I mean, I sort of don't understand why you would want to do that.
Well,
Because I
okay,
would assume...
let's say you're on a dead server, but you have gold cap, because the way the auction house works now is that, all that. But you want to be able to raid, say, mythics with your friends, and you want to go for like world first. Well, in order to do that, you need to be on the same server in the same guild.
Well, yeah, but a lot of the players that are raiding Mythic are already sort of there and have a team. So that's where it's sort of like, huh? But yeah, I mean, the other thing is, too, that I worry about is if you're making that much gold on a low pop realm, I'm sure you have alts. So that's sort of, I don't know if that's defeating the purpose. Because usually people that are raiding mythics that have all of those alts, they're in a group together. So essentially you're spending a lot of money for moving of that gold. So, I mean, it just seems silly to me. I don't know. But yeah, I have a lot of gold too. So if I would ever move, I'm sure that I would take, both of my ranged classes that I prefer, which is my priest and my mage. They would usually go together, but that's just the thing that I like to do.
So moving on, Zeph, how long have you been playing WoW?
Since 2 months before Kata launched.
Okay, so have you ever gone out to Desolus? And before Kata, it lived up to its name. But now there's a nice green patch in the middle. So you're aware of the Centaur people out there.
Yes.
And you're also aware that you could never get either of them, let alone both of them, to Exalted, because A, they were at war with each other, and B, there was no way to get into Revered, let alone Exalted.
Right.
How good did it feel this week to find out, holy crap, I can get both of them Exalted now?
I mean, not that I got them even close to that back then, because of lack of time in the expansion, but yeah.
They were on my list of, I want this to get fixed, because it was driving me crazy. Because I like, all of my rep bars are either empty or full. Because once I start a rep, I keep going with it until it's freaking full. Like 1,000 of 1,000 Exalted full. And seeing those two factions just sitting there, and I'm like, I can't do anything about this. There's no... And then finally, Blizzard has come out and said, yay! Here you go. Here's some Exalted, as long as you didn't do these specific quests prior. And I thought for sure I was screwed. I took my Paladin out there, and yay! My quests are there! Apparently I skipped some quests, even though I got Lore Master pre and post Kata. I don't know. That was weird. But I have them Exalted now, so I am up to 86 Exalted reps.
I mean, I sort of feel like there's been some tunes where I have played through those. So I don't know if Zeph would be the tune to take out there. But Azza probably my mage. I mean, it's worth a shot, right?
Yeah, I mean, worst case is you don't do it. But as long as you do those quests, you're guaranteed Exalted no matter where your reps were. And post-Kata, you couldn't get them anyway. So if you take a tune that was not available pre-Kata...
Yeah, Azza was definitely made after Kata. Like, far after Kata. So, I know Zeph was pre... So I don't know if she can do any of those. Which is going to irritate me, but... whatever.
Anyway, moving on.
Let's talk about throwing legendaries at tunes. What about that?
Yay! So, yes, we'll talk about Legendaries. Step 1, go to your order hall. Step 2, open the big shiny chest on every max level tune this week. It's only going to happen this week, so do it now. You're going to get 1,000 of those essences to buy a legendary. Normally, you'd be like, oh great, I get a random one that I'm probably not going to use. And to you I will say, nay, because I'm a horse. But also because you would be wrong, because this week with 8.0 you can buy specific legendaries for that character. So if there's one, like in my case for my Fire Mage, those bracers, which are best in slot for the Fire Mage, or at least they were. I have to sim again to make sure. They probably are. They were the last ones I got on my Fire Mage. Yay me. If I level up another mage as fire, they can be the first ones because I can buy those bracers. So you can buy specific ones now for that character. You can still buy the random for other characters, but instead of it just being a random one, you know which one you're buying. Or at least in terms of class. So I can buy random warrior, random druid, all that fun stuff. So great quality of life change. It would have been nice if it came before 8.0 because, it would have helped with the mage towers quite a bit. knowing that you had the specific legendaries you wanted, but alas, it is what it is. Go buy your legendaries, because they will still work until like level 115, and then based on stats, that's when they might get replaced. They turn off at 115. The special stuff. The stats might still be better, so you might still be wearing them later on. The exception being Aman'Thul, you'll still be wearing that at 120 because it turns off at 120, and the stats are going to be amazing.
Yeah, and Wildhead has a Legion Legendary guide for each class and spec, which I put in the Discord for Epic Fail, which is also in your show notes. But so it's sort of nice to have. And if you're a Shadow Priest and you don't have the belt, go get your belt.
Go get your belt,
and,
yo.
Playing a mage, go get your bracers. Please go get those bracers. It's worth it.
A tip from chat that I didn't even think of. Don't bother buying neck pieces that are legendaries unless, for whatever reason, you're crazy or you just want Pride As or whatever for the rest of this expansion. Because one of the first things you're going to do next expansion is go get a neck piece. So, unless you want all of them for whatever reason, you gear for Time Walk. Like, if you go min-maxing, Pride As for tanks, maybe. And then everyone else will probably use Heart of Azeroth and Azerite gear. Because it just scales down. I mean, who knows, though? So, moving on. That just leaves the Q&A. And with all the tech issues I've been having, this will be entertaining. So get ready for some edits, because that's what's going to happen.
So long end of short, they apologize for a lot.
Yep. They said, you guys deserve a better patch experience than what we gave you. It shouldn't have had that many bugs in it. Blah, 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 blah. We did test, but, we couldn't test that kind of thing because we didn't honestly think about it. AKA the community thing that I mentioned earlier. Stat Squish was a little easier this time. Still wasn't perfect. But we're going to get another one in like 2-3 expansions anyway, because they've already said that's what they're going to do from now on, unless they figure out something better. So, yeah, fun. And we're not going to go through every single detail of this, guys. Bowhead, MMO Champion will have a word by word. We're just going to hit some of the highlights. They're fixing things as fast as possible, blah, 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 blah. This is things we've already mentioned. Artifact appearances. Short version, just because, like, if in my case, I have umpty-2 Demon Hunters and quite a few Paladins, but I can't use the artifact appearances, like, say, the Mage Tower Flameglaive on my other Demon Hunter, because they didn't do it. It is character specific. Come Battle for Azeroth, I think, official day, it's going to turn pure transmog, which means all Demon Hunters of that spec would be able to use it. So yay!
So in other words, it's coming, just hold your horses.
Pretty much. For dungeons, for leveling dungeons, we used to get this little extra bump of XP at the end of the dungeon for completing the dungeon. All they did was, here's a ton of extra XP for the boss kill at the end. Instead of, you completed the dungeon, here's some extra XP. They just threw it on the boss. It seemed a little more elegant to me.
Yeah. Because it gives you incentive now to actually finish it.
Yeah. One thing, just skipping a little past a little bit of stuff here, for in-game lore kind of stuff, for those people who play mainly the Horde and are like, but Sylvanas is shown as being completely evil. Why would we want to stay Horde at that? And they were like, don't worry, we know what it looks like now, but we know the entire story. Alliance will have its moments. Horde is going to have its swing upside too. So it seems to be hinting heavily that Sylvanas might be a one, well, two, I guess if you count Legion, two expansion war chief, and whether she is dead or just leaves is still unknown. Because I can't see her having a change of heart from what she is. It just
Yeah, neither do I. And I think Gen has something to do with that.
yeah. So that's pure speculation on my part. It just everything is adding up to this will be her last expansion as War Chief. Whether she survives it or not is another story. Given that she is as popular as she is, and the fact that Varian and Vol'jin both died recently, I don't think they're going to kill her. She might just go away for a while, but I don't think they're going to kill her. Unless that's literally the setup for the Old God expansion. In which case, maybe. But I don't know.
Yeah, she won't go out without a fight, so...
Yeah. They go into some more details about the stat squish, saying the rewards need to look good and not like plus 20 to plus 21, because then you have to, it's just harder to tune for plus 20 is not enough. Plus 21 is where you need to be. No, that's just not worth it. So, don't worry. Things look a little weird now.
Yeah, we'll get used to it. We don't want to log in and feel like we're level 70 again.
They brought up possibility of a level squish. Maybe that'll happen, but it seems kind of weird. Oh, you were 120. This new expansion, level cap's going to be at 80 again. What? That makes sense that they might not do it. I kind of wish they would just do it or go the Diablo way of Paragon levels.
I mean, I think that's what they're hinting at here. Because you log in one day, you're 120, and then you log in the next, and you're like 70 again, and that might not feel too good. But Paragons would feel good.
Yeah, I'd be okay. That's one of the Diablo things I'd be okay with. Because, and there are some Diablo things that we've gotten, and I'm just like, I don't understand why we have this, but whatever. So yeah, Paragon would be cool. Hunters and Hattie, however you want to say it. Just because you don't have them now doesn't mean you won't see them again later. That's what they told us.
Why are they getting rid of her?
Because it's tied to the artifact. The artifact lost all of its stuff. So yeah. Honestly, out of what's left from the Q&A, again, links in the show notes, all that fun stuff. Things like the Mage Tower, they might do again. Not that specific thing, but something for solo players to, I'm that good, I was able to do this. And then as other people get gear, they'll be able to do it later. They didn't say they were for sure doing it, but they hinted that they're open to it. It's a good chance they're going to do something like that again. How it'll show up, who knows? So, did you see anything else out there, Zeph, that caught your eye for the Q&A?
Yeah, just your standard stuff. You know, we touched on the big ones, so...
Alrighty then. Well then, with that, I will say, let's get rid of this show before more tech issues happen. Because Draven's getting a little angry, and that's not a good thing. So, as you are the guest, Zeph, do you have any shout-outs? Any way people get a hold of you? You know, that kind of thing.
So, I do a little thing called a blog and a podcast of my own. It's called Zephirah's Adventure. which we all have to pester Draven when he's not having tech issues to be on my show. But yeah, that's the thing. ZephirahAndDraven.wordpress.com. I have links everywhere for the show. And since we're talking about it, Draven and I also do this little ditty called D&D. I was talking about taking pictures of my dice earlier, which will go on my Discord soon. But yeah, Secrets in Talengard. Take a listen to that too. So my shout out for this week would be for my sister playing Hearthstone. So thanks Hearthstone for being awesome, and thanks sis for playing. I appreciate it.
As for me, my shout out is going to go to Windows because I like being ironic. And all I'm going to say is have Brick will travel there. Getting a hold of me over on Twitter at Draven Dresden. And stuff I need to say all the time. Patreon, if you want to send money, maybe to help fix the tech issues. I don't know. We have a Patreon for the show. Patreon.com/podcastepicfail. $1, $2, whatever you want a month. I think it's set up to all the way to 100. If you send that much, I'm going to call you crazy, but I will thank you incessantly anyway. It definitely helps. It keeps the lights of this show going more than you can possibly know, even with the tech issues. Discord, bit.ly/epicfail Discord. You know, it's a slow Discord. I'm not going to hide that. Not a whole lot of people in it. But come say hi. It would be nice. Zeph mentioned it earlier. D&D thing, that'll be tomorrow. Hopefully my Discord is not going crazy tomorrow, because that will annoy the ever-living crap out of me. Secrets of Talengard. Zeph is a halfling wizard. I am a tiefling wizard. Basically, I'm a demon guy who can do magic, because why would I pick anything else? Excluding the 13 backups that I have. Yes, I have 13 backups.
Yeah, just remind me of how tall I am tomorrow in game.
You're little. You're like 2 feet tall. Maybe 3. Yeah, you're little. You come up to my knee.
Yeah, you may want to remind me of that tomorrow.
Okay.
And if you guys listen to the podcast on that side, you'll know what I'm talking about if you listen.
Yep. Secretsoftalengard.com. One of the many new D&D shows out there. It's fun. I'm having fun. I have plans. And the sad
and
part
apparently
is,
so do I.
And the sad part is I know, like, I've officially started working on the backup character out of those that I have. Just in case my character dies, my backup character has plans. Like, I know I've picked which one it's going to be.
That's interesting.
The opening theme song at the beginning of the show is from bensound.com. It is licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0, aka give us credit and you can use it for free. So thank you. Great times. So Zeph, before I decide to throw anything, do you have any last words for the show?
I may appear short in game and in D&D, but you know, hugs for everybody, including Windows.